What's up, Cowboys Nation? Thank you again for joining us on the Double XO Show. I am your host, Zach White, and with me, as always, the lovely Camber Michelle. What is going on?
What's happening? I'm getting a little excited for this game on Sunday.
Ready. And you're going to be actually making the trip to Kansas City. And just real
I
quick, before
am.
I say that, because yes, you are, that's going to be amazing. He is probably that guy who does the voiceover for the touchdowns on Kansas City. I hate him. I hate him. Of all of them, and I'm sure if you've ever listened to like playbacks or anything of their games, you'll hear touchdown Kansas City. It's terrible. It's terrible. I want to throw that guy off a cliff. Uh, but you will be there.
Between that and they do that first down every
Yes.
time, like they're
Yes.
the
And
refs.
chop and
And,
all the. Ah. This is going to
but
be
Cowboy
huge.
Nation's coming to represent.
Huge. This is a much anticipated matchup. This has been for since the beginning of the season. I think for everybody besides the Tampa Bay game, and even then because Tampa was the first game, we weren't really. I wasn't putting all my cards in on that one. This is the game. This is the game where I checked like okay, everybody is coming into should be hopefully fully healthy. You should have kind of your mid-season form. You should know what we're getting and on each team. And this is a true matchup. This is like the test for us. Even though Kansas City has struggled, I feel like this is a really big matchup for us. And this is where it's make or break. We're gonna find out
Right.
what we are. And this just froze up on me. Oh my God. Okay. It's still going. Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna keep rolling. I'll cut this shit out.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, speaking of, you're gonna be there. You're gonna be representing in the building. Have you ever
I
been
am.
before? Have you ever been to
I
Arrowhead
have
before?
no. So this is another stadium checked up off of my list. Like you said, I think this is a huge marquee game. I think
Yes.
us winning this game is going to send a message to the AFC.
Let's go.
We've beat some NFC teams. We beat the Chargers, who everybody thought in the beginning of the year was a bit more they were. And regardless as to what Kansas City has done to this point in the season, it's still two-time. They've been to the Super Bowl recently.
Yep.
This, I think we win this game and it puts everyone on notice that we are the team to beat in the
Silence.
NFC.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. And that is something that we're definitely looking forward to. But when you start talking about some of the things that are going on right now, we're going to go ahead and go over the injury report. Speaking of healthy teams in midseason form, we have an issue. It's Dallas. We have a problem, not Houston. Houston's always a problem.
Right.
But in Dallas, Amari Cooper is out with COVID-19 officially official, so he will be missing this game and possibly potentially even Thanksgiving against the Raiders. This is a huge blow for us. This is a huge blow for us, and for everybody who has been kind of like, oh well, we have other people, we have other weapons. Completely understandable. We do, and Michael Gallup couldn't have came back at a better time.
Right.
That is huge, and we do have a lot of weapons, but let's not underestimate Coop. For those people out there who are kind of like, he's not living up to his contract. The things that he does on the fields that isn't seen necessarily that impacts the other wide receivers on the field as far as giving them availability to be open. It's huge, man. That alone is a deal with just even a decoy, if we're being honest, just with what he has to offer, and this is a problem. This is a problem for us, especially coming into these games. These two games were, I feel like, to me, detrimental for us to win these two games for the purpose of making that statement, as you said. But yeah, he is officially out. So what do you think about all of this right now with the Amari Cooper news?
Like you said, with Michael Gallup coming back, perfect timing, and throw throw out the depth that this team has. That yes, huge hit, but we do have depth, especially at this position. Going back to your point about missing him, the other things that he gives, that man reads the defense, and he's reading the corners, and he's telling the others, oh, he can't cover, he's doing this. So that's a huge blow in
It's a
itself.
leader. Yeah.
It makes you start to question that 99% of our players are vaccinated. How many have we had now that have missed 2 games? Because it's already said that, yes, he's missing the Raiders game because he's unvaccinated. So it's the mandatory 10-day quarantine.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. This was one name I did not want to hear before we came into this game, that we were playing without him. The upside of it is that we all know that Amari's been hurt all season long.
Yes.
And this rest, give him rest, come back for the
2 weeks,
Saints
yeah.
game and that long stretch until the playoffs. But yeah, it hurts because I really felt these next 3 games, I really felt if we could come out at 3-0 or even 2-3, we're punching our ticket, not just to the playoffs, but deep into the playoffs.
Exactly.
Now we're going to have a bit more of a challenge, but we've faced challenges all season long, so let's go.
And it's been next man up all season. But I'm still also like, why can't we have nice things?
Right.
I want damn it. I want a fully healthy team against this Kansas City Chiefs team so I can just talk all the mess, because I've been waiting for this moment with all the Patrick Mahomes, he's like a god. I mean, you might as well just build him a golden statue. I'm ready to shut that down. I'm ready for Dak Prescott to go in here and just ball. But speaking of, this Amari Cooper situation, let's go ahead and do an update on the injury report now as it stands. Cam, go ahead and fill us in right now where we're at as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned.
Yeah, so on the other side of the coin, Greg Zuerlein is back. We do have our kicker back. He is off the COVID list, so that's really great news. Last I saw, Nashawn Wright is questionable at this point in time, and I believe it's a knee in this situation. Kelvin Joseph, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to him. Definitely. Our understanding, he's suffered a loss in his family, and he will not be making the trip. We do have some news that has come out about Tank and Randy and Gallimore. Tank has not been put on that 20-day return, but sounds like he's very close to it. He's been out doing limited practices. He was even in a jersey and all of that. And Randy was out there doing some of that. My understanding with Gallimore is that, yes, we initially were told 3 to 4 weeks. We were told, probably really more 6 to 8. The injuries the healing's coming along fine. It's the strength. And that's what they're working on at this point. And we all know, those defensive tackles have got really large men coming at them. He's going to need a little bit more strength in that arm. So look for all 3 of those guys within the next 4 weeks. But then on the other side of the coin, they come back and we're going to have to take 3 guys off of the roster. So it's a double-edged sword. Who you getting rid of and who's staying in that point. But I guess we cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, and and just to go back to touch up on the Kelvin Joseph thing, I hate this for him, especially for him finally getting the opportunity to kind of get his feet underneath him on the field, and it's really it's a league of putting days together, right? Building on days and learning to be a professional football player. It's a hard thing to begin with, and then learning all the nuances and improving yourself week in and week out to get that playing time. And I hate this setback for him, but as you said, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with him. So, hopefully he comes back next week and strong and ready to play, especially with the short week. So I don't even know how that honestly is going to work out. But I really want to see him on the field. I want to see what he has to offer to this team. I really think he's a talented player. Just got to start, getting things got to start working in his favor eventually. But yeah, Tank, Gallimore, getting guys like that back as much of a struggle as that has been over the past few weeks. Just thinking that we were going to get him back. I don't even know, a couple weeks ago as opposed to now, where we're just kind of still, wanting to get him back 100%. Completely understand that. But once these guys come back, that's encouraging to me. And I feel like we've been kind of saying that all year long.
Right.
Once these guys come
Exactly.
back, it's always somebody coming
Right.
out. But, it is. And that is when you need these guys, though, for that long stretch at the end of the season where all these injuries are popping up. You need healthy players, so it's a great problem to have. But on the other side of the ball, what are we looking at when we're talking about Kansas City and some of the injuries that they have going into this matchup?
They are on their third right tackle, and Niang out. He's out.
He's
So
officially
they've
out.
had that same kind of issue with their offensive line that we have. I'm showing in the depth chart, all they have is Andrew Wiley. So they may be forced to take one of their linemen, their backup linemen, and put them out of position. So that could be very nice for Mr. Parsons to have a little fun getting around to try and rattle Mahomes in that way. They also Sneed, which is one of their biggest corners that is going to help us with Amari not being it. He's questionable at this point.
God, and I've never heard of him. That's
Right.
their best corner.
Right.
I know who he is,
And then they've got another defensive back, Armani Watts, who didn't practice and he's questionable. So he's actually, I think he's Matthews' backup there at safety.
Okay.
So
okay.
So they're facing a couple of little things here and there.
Nice.
Other than that, everybody else that had been either did not practice or was limited is, been marked questionable or out or is now practicing. So it's fairly a healthy team that we're facing.
Yes. And they looked it. They looked the part last week, just going up against the Raiders, and it is the Raiders, I know, but they look like they returned to form compared to what they've been kind of all season with kind of the miscues and everything. They look like they returned to form a little bit, but
but that Raiders squad has been through a lot. You've got to think of a Raiders squad that dropped the game to the Eagles. They've gone through the Gruden thing, the Ruggs thing, what's his name with the gun, so that is an emotionally distraught Raiders team. Yes. I'm not going to say that they're not good, but I don't think they were what we saw in the beginning. So
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They've kind of, done the opposite of Kansas City. They started off really hot and then kind of have been kind of just with all the struggles, as you're saying, over the year have kind of slowed down a little bit. But real quick, I want to go back to, is Tyron Smith, I want to know, is Tyron Smith going to be playing this game, or are we looking at a Terrence Steele situation?
I honestly think we're going to see Smith play. I really do. He's making the trip.
I know that's been...
I've already confirmed, yes, he is making the trip.
Okay.
We haven't had word about what practice was today, but practice is a lot lighter. Yesterday was the full pads practice, all of that.
Right.
No absolute confirmation, but the way everybody's kind of slipping little things here and there. It sure sounds like it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to be shocked if we don't see him on the field, to tell you the truth.
Well, speaking of offensive linemen, so we did get some news from old Jera. Let some things slip out. Jesus, Jerry. Damn it, Jerry. And we appreciate it from the media standpoint, but from a fan or from a fan of the other team, you don't really want to know, those types of situations. So that's a little bit of a dagger, especially to Mike McCarthy. And I'm wondering, what are the conversations behind closed doors when it comes to that? Because that's got to be really frustrating for Mike. But
yeah.
The news that broke is apparently we're going to have Connor McGovern, the other Connor, starting at left guard over Connor Williams. That's huge news, and a lot of this, and I think we've kind of been talking about it and preparing ourselves, and potentially if Connor McGovern was going to go into that center position because Tyler Biadasz was struggling, or we were going to have him at left guard eventually throughout the season. And I hate to say this, but Connor Williams really has all but lost his job. The penalties have just continued to pile up for him. Very unfortunate for him, but yeah, it's been too much. He leads the league in penalties, I believe, right now with 13 already total flags, and I think Diggs is probably at 10. I think or 10 or 9. He's a little bit behind him, but yeah, that's been a big problem, and it's cost us. And the thing is it could have been. It's one of those situations where it could have been so much worse than what it was. Like this last game, even. He's racking up. It doesn't seem like a lot when you kind of go back, but it's at least 2 a game, and these are pivotal penalties. Game-changing penalties that could really kind of put a dagger in us. So, yeah, I'm happy with the move. I think we're all interested to see what Connor McGovern can offer. How do you feel about the whole situation and Connor being there, McGovern being there?
I think it was time. I think and no, nothing to say wrong about Williams' play when he's on, he's on. He's playing really well.
Yeah.
I see one of the problems is that Connor gets tired and he starts to lose his balance, and that footwork and that shift doesn't happen that needs to happen. And that's when these penalties are happening.
Yes.
So, yes, let's, we have the potential right now. Everybody's been screaming for the best 5 O linemen to be on the field. Well, guess what? That first snap on our offense, we absolutely may have it this time. Finally,
Officially.
After how many months?
How many months? You know what?
It's
yes. I mean,
yes.
This has needed to happen. And again, as you're saying, I'm not going to destroy Connor Williams for things he's done, because I would say even this year he's played better. But he's had some struggles. Even last year, he was the only healthy starting offensive lineman that we had. But it's just, as you're saying, he gets tired, and you could definitely see it. He gets bull rushed, and he just can't handle it. And that's been an issue of his since the beginning, is we talk about his strength and not being able to handle, bigger guys like that. And it's caught up to him a little bit again. It hasn't been a huge letdown. Sorry. But you know what? Since we're already still speaking of offensive linemen, let's go ahead and jump into Cam's catch or mess. And the question I have for you, Cam, is do we finally have a swing tackle? Have the Dallas Cowboys finally found a swing tackle within Terrence Steele?
We have. Absolutely. This one is 100% a catch. I mean, his play on the field has proven it. Okay, yes, he was doing great at right tackle. He did dismal at that left tackle position, but it took 1 game, 1 week of coaching, getting him to shift. Did you have a problem with the way he played against Atlanta? I didn't have a problem.
No.
So we're catching that one. It's good.
I'm with you, but I will, for me, this is a body catch, right? This is not a crazy great catch. This is a body catch to me, because yes, I agree with you. Yeah, he looked really good against Atlanta, and obviously not so good the week before against the Broncos, but adjusting to left tackle, as we talked about, and as people have said, or as he has said before, quoted from another player, it's like wiping your ass with the other hand. It's difficult to make that move from right tackle to left tackle, but it's encouraging. Last week's play was encouraging. He's still got time. I'm fine with right tackle. Left tackle, still a little bit concerned, just because of the matchups, the caliber of matchups that he could play potentially if Tyron Smith goes down. But hopefully not a problem, right? Hopefully not a problem in the future.
Exactly.
But we may have found our guy, and that's one thing that we all need to be excited about. As you said, how long has it been since we have had a capable swing tackle? My God, since 2000, I don't know, 16? Not even then. I don't even know then if we had one. I think Chaz Green came in 2016 for like 2 games.
We don't say that name.
Oh, no, but that's the thing. This is why I'm hesitant. This is why I'm very hesitant when it comes to Terrence Steele, as well
Right.
because, yeah, Chaz Green did okay in 2016 when he came in place as Tyron Smith. And then that next year, we all remember what happened. And, yeah, I don't even want, you're right.
And
I
don't
shouldn't
say his name again because it's
I'll never say his name.
Don't
Yes, 100%. Agreed. But we'll keep this thing moving with Cam's catch or miss. And this next question is going to be, is Anthony Brown our most reliable corner right now? When we're talking about if you could trust anybody as far as these cornerbacks go, the cornerbacks go, who are you trusting on third down to stop the play? And a clutch third down that we need. Which of these corners are you trusting? Is Anthony Brown the most reliable corner on this team?
Okay, prior to this season started, I never would have thought I was going to say this. Yes, Anthony Brown.
Eat it.
Yes.
This is going to be a confessions track later on, by the way, just so you know. It's going to be 100%. I was wrong.
Please.
I'll do it with you.
I was wrong. In 21 cover snaps, 8 completions out of 20 targets, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 4 forced incompletes. He is top 4 in the league in those numbers. Yes.
Huge.
He's
huge.
Reliable.
Yeah.
He's with that speed. You know what? The man's turned it around. It is time that we give him his props. 100%. If I could talk about one person that turned around their gameplay more than anyone, I think, on this team right now, it would be one Mr. Anthony Brown.
There it is. And you know what?
It.
You know, it's the hardest thing I think I ever had to do. Tell you. I'll break it out again. I will break it out again with a confession, man.
Right?
Because seriously, Anthony Brown, this was one of my biggest concerns coming into the season. And y'all, you guys remember, I was harping on this, like, hey, this is our biggest need, a second cornerback. We got Diggs, he's growing, but on this other side, we got, Anthony Brown, he's been terrible, and even up until camp, and even that first game, where he got beat by Antonio Brown, everybody was just crushing him, and I've questioned
people wanting to start Joseph over him.
Yes.
And he said no.
Yes.
He said no.
Questioned the coaching. I was like, what are you guys doing? What do y'all see that we don't see? We're seeing it now. Now we're seeing it. Anthony Brown he's come into himself. He is a capable, good, why did I say good, capable.
Would you keep him around for next year?
You got to. And you know what? Jordan Lewis had a really good game last week as well.
Right.
Just a
probably
shutdown
one of his
game.
best ever.
I would say our secondary in general, especially the cornerbacks. Yeah, they all showed up. I mean, they all 3 got picks. I mean, Jesus.
Right.
I need that same energy.
And not easy picks.
No, not at all.
Those were not gimme, bounce off someone, just be there in the right position. Those were ball hawked, took the ball. That catch with Diggs behind his head, all 3 of them.
Yes.
All
Glorious.
3 of them were full on. They went in and took the ball. The ball didn't just fall to them. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we have some capable corners now, and this is nice.
It makes my heart happy.
This is nice. Jesus. But you know what? But the slate is wiped clean, right? Each and every week, the slate is wiped clean. We're starting over. It's a fresh start. It's a new team, new game, all that. Let's block all that noise out. The Tyreek Hill, the speed, the McCole Hardmans, guys like that, and the Kelseys. I mean, these are some really this is some great weapons that Patrick Mahomes has, and there's a lot of speed, and that is concerning for me. So let's do a repeat of last week. Let's bring that same kind of energy. But My thing is, and this is the part that scares me, and let's go ahead and just dive straight into this matchup, and we'll start off with the Mahomies and all those people over there. This week we're gonna talk about, we're gonna break down our defense versus their offense, and that is a big concern for me. When I think about last week's matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, I don't see any capable or great or good even wide receivers on that field outside of Kyle Pitts. That was
Right.
really truly the only weapon that they really had besides maybe Patterson. But I mean, who else are you putting? You putting Russell Gage? Who else are you putting out there with ever since Julio Jones left, and then Calvin Ridley, with some of his off-field issues and things that are going on with him. And by the way, just to bring it up, ask
Right.
for help. Ask for help. And his situation is another one of those things. If you need time, you need to talk to somebody. Never be afraid to ask for help. And this is our quarterback. I love everything that he supports with faith, fight, finish, and all that, and everything he's got going on with his brother and the support in that direction. So yeah. But to keep this rolling, yeah, that is a big concern of mine when we're talking about our secondary versus all the weapons that these guys have, because it's an endless amount of weapons. What is your biggest matchup concern when it comes to their offense against our defense?
I don't know if it's as much of a concern as we need. And I think Dan Quinn is going to scheme it right.
Absolutely.
And I think one reason I don't have huge concerns with it is because there was a comment made by Patrick Mahomes a little bit earlier this season that said he's just finally learning to read defenses. Well, for me, that's like giving Dan Quinn a golden ticket to say, oh, hello, I'm going to confuse the hell out of you.
Indeed.
So I think that's one of my biggest matchups is going to be Dan Quinn confusing Patrick Mahomes. I'm so hoping that we go to a deep cover 2, because when you take that middle of the
Yes.
field away from Patrick Mahomes, his passer rating drops down to 75%.
Yes. Stupid Raiders.
So you're right. And, and that's exactly what both Green Bay and Carolina did to them, is
Absolutely.
they took that middle away from him. I'm going to put Curse on Kelsey. I want that big body on the big body.
Boom.
I'm
Yes.
thinking that
100%.
speed with Brown is going to probably tie up best with Hill, to tell you the truth. I don't think this is one
I
that
agree.
Diggs is going to shadow him whatsoever. I think they're going to
No.
be more of a zone
No.
on this, and that's going to be a lot better for us. I'm not worried about their running game.
Yes.
Not at all. They haven't had one that much, and even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back, it just hasn't had that punch for me. So, I mean, those are my biggest ones. But my biggest matchup is Dan Quinn confusing Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely. And to me, and I see exactly what you're saying with this, and I'm going to counter that a little bit. I'm going to say Dan Quinn against Andy Reid, right?
Right.
And
Right.
that's a great matchup. The offensive mind, the defensive mind, and of course you got to have the puppets. You got to have the players in the field to make all the genius that comes from them happen. But yeah, that's going to be. I'm enjoying just watching the chess match between those two coaches right there, because it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. And like I said, the secondary is a bit of a concern for me with these weapons, but I will say this: Patrick Mahomes has thrown 10? Has he thrown 10 interceptions this season already, or has it been more than that?
I think it's 10 interceptions, and I want to believe it's 12 turnovers. He
Okay.
leads the league in turnovers.
Yes,
And because he's had a couple
that's
fumbles
right.
and all that.
He has
So, yeah.
doubled Dak as far as interceptions are concerned.
Right.
So
And he's played one game more. They
Yes.
have not got their bye is next week.
yes,
So this is a team that's, one more game in.
yeah. But I think that, that's our. If there's nothing else you can say about this defense, that is what you can say, is that we are we are turnover happy. We want to create these turnovers, and we're damn good at it too. So I'm ready to
Who'd have thought?
see. Yeah, yeah. Who the hell would have thought? Yeah. And that is a beautiful thing when you're talking about Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he's a great quarterback. Yes, he's an elite quarterback. We all know this. But the thing with Patrick Mahomes is he's got that gunslinger mentality, and he will take chances. And there are lots of guys waiting on opportunities, and Diggs is one of those guys, and he will bait you. And I think Pat knows that. He knows that. So I think if anything, and I don't want to give away any keys to success on their behalf, but I'm looking for that out and up route. I definitely think they're going to try to get Diggs on that, get him to bite, and then hit it over the top with somebody fast, like a Hill, like a McCole Hardman. They're going to be looking to kind of beat him in that way because that's what he does. He baits, and sometimes it works against him. So, but I'm ready to see this. I think another interesting matchup, but I will say this too, is Williams. Their running back Williams, because I don't know how they're going to mix in Hilaire with him, Edwards-Hilaire, and how all that's going to work. But I mean, that guy had 100 yards receiving last week against the the lowly Raiders. I will mention, but either way, 100 yards for a running back receiving is not a mistake. I mean, that's amazing for anybody to be able to accomplish that in this league. So that's going to be an interesting little matchup too. I'm looking to see what Micah Parsons can bring as far as potentially an edge rush or just a weapon in general, and keeping up with running a quick running back like that in the passing game. So that's
he also
key.
worked a lot he worked a lot of pass rush this week, was definitely working that. And I know one thing they were working on for sure is that Mahomes has got that sneaky little, he'll drop back 2, jump forward 1, which makes that pass rusher go boom right behind him. And I know they were working with Micah on that timing. The other thing that Mahomes doesn't deal with really well is when they come straight at him.
Yes.
And so they're going to come straight at him because then we all know Patrick Mahomes gets rattled. His mechanics kind of go out the window. Yes. I also want us to jump out to that touchdown ahead. I want us to score first because Patrick tends to play hero ball once that happens. Mm-hmm. And when he plays hero ball, that's when we see some of that crazy, wild, dinky dunk cookie throws that you think, what the hell's going on? So I think that's all kind of important. I mean, honestly, I want Patrick Mahomes rattled.
Yes, we gotta get that pass rush going, and then I would like to say that it starts with Micah, but it doesn't. It starts with the other 4 guys that are on that front as well. You gotta create pressure up the middle. The running game isn't too big of a concern with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense, and not to say that it couldn't be. We'll see, but it's really want to focus on the pass, and we want to focus on creating pressure, and that's up the middle. That's Osa Digizua. That's Armstrong. I really need him to have another big game. Some of these guys really need to step up on the defensive line, man. We got to create constant pressure on Mahomes. And that's the thing too. We might even need a spy. We know he likes to use his feet. That hasn't been too much of him this year. He's kind of stayed away from that a little bit, but he can get out of that pocket. He can use his legs. He is a dangerous weapon when it comes to that. So,
and I've heard word that possibly could be Micah. That Micah could be the spy on him this game.
Please let it be. Please let it be. I want that 4.3 speed from a linebacker all over that. God, yes. Oh, be still, my heart. Be still, my heart. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, that would be beautiful. I would love to see that. I think Micah's going to have a really big game. And you're going to be there. Hopefully we have enough Cowboys fans to help silence out that noise. But that is something that we're going to look at on the other side of the ball when it comes to our offense and their defense. That is one thing that's going to be interesting to me. It's Arrowhead, man. And from anybody who's ever been there, they all say, it's probably the loudest stadium in the league, up there along with the 12s over there in Seattle, but one of the loudest
Right.
stadiums in the league, and it gets crazy in there. So one of those concerns for me is Tyler Biotish. Just being still. I mean, we're still talking about a guy who's still relatively young, and he has had some struggles, and you've got to be able to hear that.
Who has progressed
He
fairly
has
well in the last
progressed.
6 games. He has
Absolutely.
progressed.
Absolutely.
But,
I'm not going to knock that
I
on him.
agree.
I just hope that, and I'm sure that they have. They'll that's what they usually do in these practices. They'll pump up the noise as loud as they can and try to get these guys prepared for away games. But that's something that really that they're going to try to use to their advantage. So I need Tyler Biotish to be focused in those situations. Let's not have any missed snap counts or any issues with that. So hopefully they're on the same page. Him and Dak are rolling together. But as far as matchups go with our offense versus the Kansas City Chiefs defense, what are you seeing, Cam? What is standing out to you?
They're not good against the run, and if you can establish the run against them, we're going to control the clock. Yes. And we want Dak and our offense on that field. Keep Pat off. Keep Pat off. Keep him doing TikTok dances on the sidelines with his brother.
Yes.
Let's get this ball running. Let's eat that clock up. They're not, like you said, not super great with that. So I think that's going to be a huge key to our success.
I agree completely. I want to see Zeke and Pollard really just eat on the field this week, and then whenever it's available, air it out over the top, because there is plenty of mismatches with our wide receivers against their secondary. And I will go as far as to say that really the only thing that somewhat concerns me is the playmaking ability of the safeties that they got there. They have two good safeties. They got Thornhill, and then of course they got the Honey Badger, Matthew over there. So, but other than that, their secondary,
Nick Bolton's
the
slow.
corners that they have, I'm not worried at all, really.
I mean, Nick Bolton is slow. He's slow.
Yeah.
And with Dak's release time, he's not getting there. I mean, it's so, and I think that's another key is Dak's release time versus what they have been timed being able to get to a quarterback.
Yes.
Is going to be huge. And last week, and I know I'm not going to say it's going to happen this week. Last week, Dak had 10 different receivers. How do you scheme for 10 different potential receivers?
Yes.
So, let Kellen get in that bag.
Yes, we got it. But I mean, I will say that I'm not gonna take anything away from their pass rush.
Right.
They still have some really great guys on the other side of the ball. And I know
Chris Jones.
I know Melvin Ingram is not what he used to be, but he's still he's still one of those guys. He's a good pass rusher, man. And you got
Frank Clark.
You got weapons over there. They can get to the ball, and thank God, and hopefully it remains true as you're saying, as Tyron Smith is just back in there doing his thing, and then Lyle Collins and hopefully McGovern, and hopefully we can shore that up with this offensive line help. But there are still some concerns regarding that. But I say if we can, I don't, as you're saying, the run game, that is really the matchup that we need to take advantage of. And I want Kellen to open up that bag a little bit. Let's see some crazy jumbo sets or whatever the hell it is.
People see Connor Williams.
Yeah, put Connor Williams as the new fullback.
He's going to be the fullback. Well, Mike McCarthy this morning did say that both Connors would be playing in this game.
There you go.
Jerry just decided to say
decided to tell everything else about it. Damn it, Jerry.
Mike was so careful too to only put out the quote. Yes, they both will be playing.
Yeah,
they both will be on the field.
Definitely. And even having Amari Cooper out is as we discussed, it's painful. But I mean, we still have a lot of weapons, man. I mean, outside of him,
we do.
You got some running backs who can catch too, and then you got. Guys, again, CD, Gallup, you got, Schultz, you got Wilson, you got guys, you got weapons. So that's not a concern.
And Zeke is having the season. He's having an amazing season. And I'm not just talking his rushing. I don't think there's a better blocking running back in the game right now. Even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah. Yep. That is his bread and butter, man, and that's really, and we've said that from the beginning his rookie year. I mean, that's what sets him apart from a lot of other running backs. He's willing to do the dirty work. He's protecting his best friend back there. You know what I mean? This isn't some guy that he just randomly knows from the street. He's protecting his best friend. You think you're gonna hit his best friend? Nah, he ain't gonna let that happen.
Did you hear the story that Dak told yesterday? And even Zeke's mom did a whole about it. Their rookie year, they're in Dak's pickup, and Zeke calls them and says, "Hey man, I think I left a check in your truck." It was his $5 million signing bonus.
Wow.
Dak was like, that was bigger than his entire contract. He's like, yeah man, you need to get over here and get it.
Come get this, bud. Come pick this up, bud.
Oh, God.
I love those guys, man. I love their friendship. It's awesome. But
Same.
So what's going to happen in this game? What is your final prediction of this game? What happens?
Right.
You're going to be there. You're going to see it all unfold. What is going to happen?
See, and this has been a hard question for me. I've been torn back and forth. The fan in me being there wants some high power, high octane scoring game. And I was thinking 38-31, let's go. Let's see all the points.
It's usually the opposite.
I think this is going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
And something inside of me keeps screaming 19-13. And I don't know why.
As long as those 19 points are ours, Cam, I'll take it all day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I got us coming out of there with that W. Yeah. Absolutely. I really do.
Yes.
But that is just one of those torn things that I'm like, I don't know, to tell you the truth.
It usually is opposite of what you think it's going to be. So
Right.
I'm not doing that. I'm going with my gut feeling. My gut feeling is that analytically, when you put all this together, these two great offenses, it has all the makings of a complete shootout to me. I'm thinking of going to the wild, wild west, the Cowboys and the Chiefs, arrows and bullets are flying every damn where. It's going to be a madhouse. I'm ready. I think it's going to be 40 burger on both sides. I think this may be.
So shades of Romo and Manning.
Yes, that is exactly it. I was going to say that.
And it would make me very happy.
Yeah.
I would love to. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to, I really think so. I think, and if I could put a number on it, fine. I'll put 45-42 Cowboys.
All right.
It's going to be a crazy game, and the people are going to be talking about it for forever, just like they were talking about the old Romo versus Manning kind of matchup. So,
right.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, and we're going to pull away. We're going to get this win, and this is one that I believe. I think I took it at the beginning of the year. I had an L on this game. I
did too.
Yes.
I did too.
But things have changed. Things have changed throughout the season. This team has really showed up. And again, I try to stay away from the Denver game. Mistakes happen. Games like that happen all the time. So I'm not going to really try and count that against them too much. If they come into this game and they're focused, they can really do something special where they can prove to the world that this is a very capable team. This is not the same Cowboys teams of the past where you go in and you beat up on all these little kids and then you face the big dog and you get punched in the mouth. No. I don't want to see that. This is the game where I think we do the punching. We're still the bully, and we get it done at the end of the day. I think, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. We definitely need to bring physicality to this game.
Oh, I have to.
We need to be as physical as we absolutely can.
All out.
Yeah.
And it concerns me going into the Raiders game because I feel like we're gonna put so much into this game. These guys are really, if you don't think these guys are just chomping at the bit to hit Patrick Mahomes or intercept Patrick Mahomes or just beat the once Super Bowl champions last year's, they went to the Super Bowl team. Oh yeah, they're playing up against the Cowboys. Or against the Chiefs for sure. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But As always, guys, make sure to go to starboysnetwork.com. Check out all the amazing content we have going on there with the Starboys Report. Mario Herrera Jr. is killing it for us with a weekly recap of the games and a preview to the games coming up. So definitely check that out. Subscribe to that, as well as subscribing to this channel as well, so you can keep getting great content coming your way. The ladies, Cam has got a good show coming up, a good podcast pretty soon. Stargirls podcast.
Right.
We officially put a name on it, so that will be coming very soon. Really excited about that. We've got some great shows set up for you guys in the future with that, so definitely stay tuned. And once it's here, we'll keep you guys updated, but like and subscribe to that as well. And there's one more, and I'm not going to mention it yet, but we have another thing coming on the horizon very soon as well. So make sure to stay tuned into everything that we do and subscribe. Until then, Cowboys Nation, hopefully I will be seeing you on Victory Monday. We're going to be breaking down the game and talking about the ass whooping we put on the Chiefs. If not, you probably won't see me.
8-2.
Yeah, 8-2. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, Cowboys, we out.